It's funny because when this thing goes live, I'm always looking around, like, what should I be doing? Should I be doing something? Like, should I look like I'm busy when this actually starts to go live? I don't know. Yeah, back from jury duty. It's been a hot minute since I've been here, so trying to remember all the toggles and levers and timings and everything like that. Never ended. Well, did go in, but didn't get called. Ooh.
Harrison Ford in the second installment of the Indiana Jones movie sold for $630,000 at auction.
Wow. I need to announce this. American Source Prize. Casa. It's going to be at Placer, 7 p.m. Preview game. Hi, so 8:30. So this is the 23rd. Helmet from 1983's Return of the Jedi went for $315,000, and a ghost costume worn by stars in the 1996 movie Scream, which sold for $270,000. Reach out to me anytime across the board on social media at Matt Ray Talk. Still a lot more to come on this Monday morning.
America's First News will be right back.
In a study, it was found that 33% of 44 herbal supplements had no trace of the advertised herb. Don't let that happen to you. Hi, this is Dr. Mitch. If you want to ensure quality, please go to TotalWellness.com. Supplements made for physicians only now available to you too. TotalWellness.com, helping you to look good, feel good, and enjoy total wellness.
Would your car perform better with premium gas or regular? What do octane ratings mean? I'm Ron Ananian in the Car Doctor. Your automotive prescription right after this.
Increase fuel economy to 7.9% with outside gasoline extreme. The solution to maximize your efficiency and fuel economy. Whether you're driving a sports car or a daily commute, Gasoline Extreme is specially formulated with PEA to deep clean.
Powered by science.
Average driving experience. Upgrade to Hot Shot Secret Gasoline Extreme.
So we got today Tampa Bay Rays. Hear that here on K-High. Powered by science.
Today's modern vehicle, whether it's a car, SUV, or light truck, is designed with a specific fuel in mind. Read your owner's manual. What octane rating does the vehicle manufacturer call for? That's what you should use. But there are exceptions to the rule. Many high-end or vehicles call for premium or higher octane fuel. And the reason for this is not just the
Here we go.
There are better fuel systems.
And we're going to call out
gasoline companies know too that
Meadow Vista. Good morning, Meadow Vista. Currently 86 degrees, 58 degrees, looking for a high of 86.
You may find better performance and
Okay.
miles per gallon because you are cleaning your engine and fuel system.
11 seconds, Adam.
Just don't tell your mechanic you're trying to replace them anytime soon. With your automotive prescription,
5, 4, 3, 2. And good Monday morning to you. It is August 19th, and it is 30 minutes past the top of the hour, 6:30 a.m. And hey, good morning to you, Meadow Vista. Currently 58 degrees right now. Looking for a high today of 86 degrees. All right, there's a sports ball music. Let's get right into it. It's been a week since we've done this last, so let's start to see if we can remember all the things. We're going to start with the A's versus the Giants yesterday. Woo-hoo, what a game. Went all the way into extra innings. Here's how it wrapped up. That's right. Giants go back-to-back. Take that one in the 10th inning, 4-2 over the A's. That was another two-game battle of the Bay there that wrapped up yesterday. A's play again today at home versus the Tampa Bay Rays. You can catch that here on K-High starting at 6 o'clock tonight. Game time will be at 6:40 p.m. So, again, radio start time today. A's versus the Rays, 6 p.m. First pitch is at 6:40 p.m. Looking at other scores around the MLB, Angels versus the Braves. The Braves take that one 3-1. Rockies versus the Padres. Rockies climb that mountain 3-2. Dodgers versus the Cardinals. Dodgers win that 2-1. Let's see. Kansas City Royals versus the Reds. Royals take that one royally 8-1. Football is back, y'all. We talked a little bit about Placer-Hillman first game. I think this is the preseason right now, though. It's going to be this Friday versus Casa Roble. It's going to be at Placer High School. So, again, Placer-Hillman football is going to be back here on K-High this Friday, y'all, starting at 7 o'clock, 7-ish. We'll see when JV wraps up. But, yeah, listen in to K-High this Friday evening for Placer. We're going to start this season versus Casa Roble here on K-High. Back with more right after this.
Ann Hidalgo, your host of Time for Seniors. You might be used to hearing us at 6 a.m. on Saturdays, but we moved to 12 noon. The Time for Seniors is your local senior resource show bringing all the important information concerning seniors. We talk health, financials, medical, keep you updated on current scams, hear inspirational stories, and laugh at ourselves a little. So tune in Saturday.
Laugh at ourselves a little.
FM 104.5.
Okay, Tim, you're up.
AM 950. K-High, the voice of the thing.
Monday weather forecast, high pressure building in. It'll be warm in the mid-80s, mostly sunny skies today. Southwest to west wind, 6 to 12 miles per hour.
Uh-oh, this is going to be close.
Tonight in the low 60s. It'll be very close to 90 Tuesday, mostly sunny skies. 85 to 90 Wednesday. Dry, sunny weather will continue. Looks like the sunny skies will continue for Thursday as well. This is meteorologist Tim Root from FM 104.5 and AM 950 K-High.
Every day we talk to business owners, large and small, about the headaches they face.
What's coming up next? K-High News, California Ag Report, and so much more. A quiz. Do you know clockwise versus counterclockwise?
Call us today at Homer Insurance, 339-7777,
We'll do that.
and see how much you can
Okay.
save. That number again,
Here we go.
339-7777.
33 minutes past the top of the hour, 6:33 a.m. Coming up in our next segment, we'll have your K-High News. We'll have your California Ag Report. And a little bit later on, we're going to take a quiz together. Do we know clockwise versus counterclockwise? You kind of know that, but do you know what certain way things rotate and turn? We'll do all that together. Lots of good stuff coming up here. Off now to America's First News. I'll see you back here with K-High News right after this. Went a little long there.
Are expected to resume deliberations today on whether the parents of a student accused of killing 10 people in 2018.
All right, now time to go rehearse the news.
The victim's lawsuit looks to hold Demetrios Pagortzis and his parents, Antonios Pagortzis and Rose Marie Cosmetatos financially liable for the shooting at Santa Fe High School. They're pursuing at least $1 million in damages. Victims' attorneys say the parents failed to provide necessary support for mental health and didn't do enough to prevent him.
What community event are we gonna?
Break wasn't foreseeable, and that he hid his plans for the shooting from them. His trial for killing 8 students and 2 teachers has been on hold since November of 2019, when he was declared incompetent to stand trial. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky said Sunday the daring military incursion into Russia's Kursk region aims to create a buffer zone to prevent further attacks by Moscow across the border. It was the first time Zelensky clearly stated the aim of the operation, which was launched on August 6th. He also urged Kyiv's allies to lift remaining restrictions on using Western weapons to attack targets deeper in Russia, including in Kursk, saying his troops could deprive Moscow of any ability to advance and cause
35th anniversary tailgater party.
Long-range capabilities. There's bipartisan support for it in Washington. Republican chair of the House Intelligence Committee, Mike Turner, and Democratic Senator Mark Kelly told CBS's Face the Nation they support Zelensky's call.
A concern with the Biden administration's
The Gold Country Fair.
also needing to get
Wait a
them
minute.
modified is Ukraine is finally in a position where they can hold Russia accountable. If they can, they have now entered into Russian territory. If they can use long-range weapon systems to hold accountable
Amanda's rent is due.
targets that are attacking Ukraine, We can change the dynamics on the ground. You can't continue to just have a front.
Amanda, I hope you get it.
Where Russia is outproducing weapons.
Kidsapalooza.
Ukraine from what Ukraine.
Thursday, September 5th from 4:30 to 7.
Well, for Ukraine. In this instance, if the Biden administration's restrictions.
Kidsapalooza in celebration of our students and youth and community.
Administration that follows, that Ukraine's
Kidsapalooza. It's a free family fun art, music, and wellness day. It's going to be on September 5th from 4:30 to 7 at Recreation Park. That's 123 Recreation Day. If you want to have a booth space for sponsorship opportunities or vendor information, you can email kidsapalooza530@gmail.com. You can have more information at kidsapalooza.
And I think it's appropriate to continue to look at what their needs are, how can we make adjustments, what new weapon systems
Oh
we
no.
can provide to them. They just recently
Oh,
got
no.
F-16s.
Error
My hope is that over
404.
time here, the Ukrainians learn how to better deploy that weapon system. And we're gonna
Kidsapalooza
see positive
with J.
effects
Ross
from that 16 on
Pirelli.
the battlefield.
Will be hosting the annual
Kidsapalooza
Kidsapalooza will be happening in celebration of our students and youth in the community. They'll have an evening of music, art, food trucks, obstacle courses, and more. It's going to be on September 5th. For booth space, sponsorship opportunities, or vendor information, you can email.
Targeting it Sunday with ballistic missiles for a third time this month, according to the head of the Municipal Military Administration.
Gold Country Fair.
Wall Street coasted to the close of its best
Gold
week since November. After the latest report showing consumers are feeling better about the economy than expected. Even though confidence rose following last week's strong run of reports, the economy is still likely slowing under the weight of high interest rates.
The Gold Country Fair is September 5th through 8th at the Gold Country Fairgrounds,
by making it more expensive for
celebrating
companies
135 years.
The question is whether the slowdown in the economy's growth will overshoot and become a recession. That's still to be determined, but the hope on Wall Street is that an expected cut to interest rates at the Fed's next meeting in September will help forestall that. Fed Reserve Bank of Chicago President and CEO Austin Goolsbee told CBS he doesn't think it's a certainty that the Fed Reserve will lower interest rates in September.
The biggest puzzle that we've seen in the inflation numbers has been the persistently high inflation rate on shelter and housing. And we can get a little mixed up because that official measure is a very lagging indicator of
right,
what
we'll see.
the actual
I gotta go practice the
conditions are on the ground. So our puzzle has been why the market rents inflation rate has come down, but that hasn't yet been reflected into the official backward-looking housing inflation. So one of the things that's going to bring it down is just we're going to keep getting more data, and that's going to get incorporated into the official series. But the second is the interest rate, how it works, how the Fed stabilizes business cycle is when it tightens the screwdriver, the interest rate goes up and the demand for housing goes down. And so some of those interest rate sensitive sectors of the economy, weakness in that is partly how the monetary transmission takes place and the inflation rate softens. And it's worth noting that last year, inflation fell by almost as much as it has ever fallen in a single year in the United States. And that happened without a recession, which is unparalleled. So we're hoping to continue some of that as we go through 24.
So a recession for you, is it off the table?
No, look, you've seen the table at the FOMC meetings, a huge table.
I know.
Everything is always on the table. There's possibility of recession. The last GDP growth number was higher than expected, so that was one of the bright spots. But you always got to worry about every contingency. That's the job of the central bank.
The market's focus swings to next week to Jackson Hole, Wyoming, where Fed Reserve Chair Jerome Powell will give a speech late in the week, and the setting has been home to big policy announcements in the past. Turning to sports this morning, and Parker Meadows set off fireworks with a 10th inning single that brought hundreds of Little Leaguers to their feet and scored Zach McKinstry on a headfirst slide, giving the Tigers a 3-2 victory over the Yankees Sunday night in the Major League Baseball Little League Classic. The crowd of mostly Little Leaguers and their coaches and families were among the more than 2,500 fans at historic Bowman Field who came to see the Yankees' Aaron Judge go deep What they got was a game that resembled so many Little League matchups each year across the globe.
Mayor and Parker Meadows winning one at second. Swings and sends it to left. The Nuggets got good over.
They call on ESPN. The Classic had the charm and concession prices of a local Little League game, $3 each for a hot dog, water, and crackers. Shohei Ohtani hit his National League leading 39 home run. Clayton Kershaw tossed 6 shutout innings, leading the LA Dodgers to a 2-1 victory over the Cardinals.
So, rifle on the first pitch. And Ohtani makes it 1-0.
The disappointment has heard on Valley Sports. Miguel Rojas and Gavin Lux had 3 hits apiece as the NL West leaders won for the 7th time in 10 games. Kershaw allowed 4 hits and struck out 2. The 3-time Cy Young Award winner threw 70 pitches in his 5th start since undergoing shoulder surgery in November. On the hardwood, Kelsey Mitchell had 27 points. Caitlin Clark added. Holt had 12 of her career-high 22 points in the 4th quarter Sunday. Fever beat the Seattle Storm 92-75. With 232 assists so far this season, Clark broke the previous WNBA record of 224, held by Teacha Penichiero in 1988.
What's it mean to you to pass a legend like that?
Well, Teacha's been a big fan of mine ever since I was in college, and somebody that has always been right there to congratulate me or just be somebody that's operating by himself. For to pass somebody like her, I'm just forever thankful that she's been such a legend in our game. But it's super cool, but hopefully there's a lot more of those.
Clark making the remarks to ESPN's Holly Rowe. The number 1 overall pick in the 2024 draft has scored at least 20 points in 5 of her last 6 games. She finds motivation where she can.
I got a technical for basically being mad at myself because I missed a 3 and then I went and hit the backboard. And he told me it was disrespectful to the game of basketball. So I don't know. It reminded me of the technical that I got in college where I said, damn it, where it's like a personal frustration. It had nothing to do with my team. It had nothing to do with their record. It had nothing to do with other team. It was just I should have been making more shots. So we have to continue to play a lot harder. I thought we got a lot better after he did that. So I want to thank him.
Indiana at 13-15, which has matched its win total from the 2023 campaign with 12 games remaining in the regular season, has won back-to-back games coming out of the month-long break for the Paris Olympics. In Seattle with 26 points. And Denver Broncos coach Sean Payton says he's not ready to name rookie quarterback Bo Nix his starter just yet, but it seems like it's just time. He led Denver to scores on both of his drives in his first NFL start. A 27-2 victory over the Green Bay Packers backups on Sunday night. The former Oregon star, selected number 6 in the 2024 NFL Draft, has now led Denver to scores on 6 of his last 7 drives preseason.
America's First News with Matt Ray.
Can you believe, with all the recent violent protests, looting, and destruction, some areas are considering either defunding or abolishing the police? At a time when America's neighborhoods need the protection of police the most, some elected officials would rather create more chaos.
All right, here we go. I think we're going to do Kids-a-Palooza.
To demands of the radical left.
And we'll do Sunshine Day.
Police. The majority of police officers
Okay, here we go.
Our God-given rights. If you prefer freedom,
Kids-a-Palooza.
then learn how you can help protect the local police that serve your community. Call today and request your free Support Your Local Police info pack. Dial
Oh, shoot. I gotta have
That's 800 GPS USA 1. Request your free Support Your Local Police info pack by calling 800 GBS USA 1 today.
And good Monday morning to you. It is August 19th, and it is 15 minutes to the top of the hour, 6:45 a.m. And hey, good morning to you, Auburn, currently 59 degrees. Oh, doesn't that sound so good to say in August? And it is looking for a high today of 88 degrees. All right, let's talk about another event for the calendar. It's Kids-a-Palooza. It's going to be here before you know it. That's right, I said it. Kids-a-Palooza. It's going to be Thursday, September 5th from 4:30 to 7 p.m. It's going to be at Recreation Park here in Auburn at 123 Recreation Drive. Auburn Rec District ARD is hosting the annual Kids-a-Palooza event in celebration of students and youth in the community. They're going to have an evening of music, art, food trucks, obstacle courses, and more. Now, if you want some booth space or sponsorship opportunities or vendor information, you can email kidsapalooza530@gmail.com. That's Kids, spelled with a Z, KIDZ, Palooza 530@gmail.com. Again, it's going to be a free family fun event for you. Art, music, wellness. It's going to be September 5th, 4:30 to 7 p.m. at Recreation Park at 123 Recreation Drive. And again, it's going to be an event for the whole family to celebrate students and youth in our community. Again, an evening of music, art, food trucks, obstacle courses, and more. Thursday, September 5th. Get it on the calendar now from 4:30 to 7 p.m. Back with your K-High News right after this.
Does your electricity bill shock you? Trim that bill down by changing your rate plan. Matching your electric usage to the right rate PGE.com/analysis to compare rate plans to see if you can save. Take a bite out of your electricity.
Okay, I haven't done this in a hot minute.
Rate plan today. This money saving tip.
Brought to you by Pioneer Community. And here's your K-High News for Monday, August 19th. I'm Chris Quant. Freeway shooting incident request for public assistance. This is from the CHP Auburn office. On August 16th, 2024, at approximately 8:58 p.m., a shooting occurred on westbound I-80 east of Maple Street in Auburn, California Highway Patrol CHP area. The suspects fired from a vehicle into another vehicle, resulting in minor injuries to two occupants within the victim vehicle. Victims called 911 and were subsequently transported to local hospitals. Both victims have been treated and expected to make a full recovery. The CHP and its investigators secured the scene and closed I-80 temporarily to search for additional evidence. CHP investigators are actively conducting a criminal investigation and searching for those responsible for this incident. We, the CHP, want to assure the public that this appears to be an isolated incident, an isolated event, and there is no ongoing threat or additional risk to the public at this time. The Auburn CHP office is seeking the public's assistance in gathering additional information about this incident. If you have any information or video footage regarding this incident, please contact the Auburn CHP office at 916-663-3344 or 1-800-TEL-CHP, or you can email 220POP@chp.ca.gov. Woman arrested after fire burns grass and structure in Grass Valley, prompting evacuations. This is from the Sacramento Bee. Evacuations were ordered along the main highway cutting through Grass Valley after a fire broke out near businesses on Friday afternoon, and a woman was arrested on suspicion of causing the blaze, according to CAL FIRE and law enforcement. A grass fire ignited between Lumberjack's restaurant and a Sierra Motorsports shop near Highway 20 and Nevada City Highway, CAL FIRE said on social media at about 3:45 p.m. on Friday. Bushes were burning between the two businesses, CAL FIRE said. Grass Valley Police, in an update shortly after 4:30 p.m., said forward progress had stopped on the vegetation portion of the fire, but that one business structure was still, quote, actively involved, unquote, in flames. The Grass Valley Police Department said online the details surrounding how the fire was started are still being investigated. Back with more news after this.
It's great to have high school football back on K-High, and we have a good one for you this Friday night as Placer High plays host to Casa Robles up Orange Trail. Placer High football is being brought to you in part by Robinson Sand and Gravel, Mel's Diner of Auburn, Auburn Trophy, the Roseville All-Ball, and Mackey Heating and Air. The Hillman of Placer High taking on Casa Robles Friday night. You can hear it on K-High.
You can see them at night. Every day they steal from you. Any device with a
Digital display,
on light or sleep mode steals energy. They may only steal a little bit, but like drops of water in a bucket, it adds up.
and you pay.
Stop energy theft. Turn off printers and computers when not in use. Use a power strip for charging, and turn the strip off when done. Stop energy thieves and save by Pioneer Community Energy.
Because K-High cares. Here's another K-High Community Bulletin Board.
The American Cancer Society Discovery Shop needs your donations of new and gently used merchandise. Items include clothing, jewelry, bric-a-brac, home decor, and more. Donations are tax deductible and support cancer patients locally and nationwide. They also need volunteers daily. The Discovery Shop is located at 2376 Grass Valley Highway in Auburn. For more information, call 530-888-7434.
Dun, 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 dun. Always feels like that's how that should end. Dun, 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 dun. So we finished Kitzapalooza. That's done. And AM 950 KI. The voice. This guy creeps me out. So many times I'm worried that my microphone isn't muted for that. Okay, here we go, Adam. Get ready to read the news. Again, enunciate. Continuing now with your K High News from the Morning Brew, taking a look at the week ahead. The DNC begins today in Chicago. At their national convention, Democrats will try to do what the Chicago Bulls have failed to accomplish since 1998, use the United Center as a springboard for a trip to the White House. President Biden and Hillary Clinton will speak tonight. Barack Obama takes the stage on Tuesday. And in the finale on Thursday, Kamala Harris will accept the Democratic nomination and outline her platform to a national audience. Chicago is preparing for thousands of protesters demonstrating against the war in Gaza in support of abortion rights and other social issues. Powell to speak in Jackson Hole, Wyoming. Later this week, central bankers will meet in the shadow of the Tetons for the Jackson Hole Symposium, an annual retreat for global economic officials to talk monetary policy. The main event, Fed Chair Jerome Powell's keynote speech on Friday, which investors hope will clarify the timing and pace of interest rate cuts. Negotiations for a ceasefire in Gaza will resume this week in Cairo. In an attempt to push an agreement across the finish line, Secretary of State Antony Blinken arrived in Israel yesterday and will travel to Egypt on Tuesday. College football is back this Saturday with Week 0, the soft opening of the season before the full slate of games the following week. Burning Man, which has sold out every year since 2011 before this year, starts on Sunday. And from the Morning Brew, here's what else is brewing. George Santos, the former congressman and current Cameo star, is expected to plead guilty to federal fraud charges stemming from his 2022 midterm campaign today. Purdue recalled more than 167,000 pounds of frozen chicken nuggets and tenders due to possible metal contamination. And The Onion is going back into print after more than a decade. And finally, from the Morning Brew, today's word of the day is opaque, meaning not letting light get through. Opaque. And that's your K High News for this Monday, August 19th. I'm Chris Quant. On now to the California Ag Report.
California Ag Today. I'm Haley Ship. This is the Ag Information.
I am Haley Ship.
As the presidential campaign heats up, so does the reaction to everything said by the candidates. We'll focus on the Democratic ticket, where recent political rhetoric blames the meat and poultry industry for rising prices. Vice President and presidential candidate Kamala Harris says the food industry's corporate price gouging would be the focus.
She's really reading that one.
National Chicken Council interim president Gary Fisher says he doesn't agree with the idea of price gouging. He says Americans are seeing inflation in nearly every part of their livelihoods, including rent, gas, automobiles, furniture, and not just in the meat case.
Not just in the meat case. She is really focused on enunciating.
Corn, soybeans, energy, packaging, transportation, and by fiscal policy and burdensome government.
The stocks only go up. The stocks only go up. Rally cry has returned to Wall Street following a flurry of solid economic reports that the S&P 500's best week of the year, following and the S&P 500's best week of the year. Even the Worry Awards at Goldman Sachs lowered their recession probability for next year on account of a strong consumer spending. Thanks to the recent pop, S&P is now just 2% below its record high.
Giving ranchers the choice is a fundamental value we all understand. But the USDA wants a one-size-fits-all system. November 5th, ranchers will be forced to use high-cost EID ear tags when shipping adult cattle across state lines.
Yep. We're going to look up
must be stopped.
by NSYNC.
Harriet Hagman and U.S. Senator Cynthia Lummis
Bye.
have introduced resolutions to overturn this mandate.
Well, that ready to go.
For more ag news, check us out online at aginfo.net.
Hi, this is Dr. Dahlia. Join me for my live call-in medical talk show that answers your questions right here on Key High. On my show, we tackle issues like cholesterol, diabetes, women's health, children, geriatrics, relationships, and more. And with all that's going on in Washington, we even touch on government and policies.
Dr. Dahlia, weekdays from 9 to noon here on the Voice of the Foothills.
Join me each weekday morning right here on FM 104.5 and AM 950 K High, the voice of the Foothills.
Hi, this is
Actually, a lot to choose from here.
We live in the greatest congressional district in America. From the Gold Country to the High Sierra, we are blessed with unmatched beauty and natural resources. But issues like sky-high gas and food prices and rising crime make life hard for too many. I'm working across party lines to pass common-sense legislation that will make life better, safer, and more affordable. If you're a veteran or senior trying to get help with your benefits, or having any other issues with the federal government bureaucracy, call my office toll-free at 1-888-406-3855. Over the last 18 months, we've helped resolve thousands of cases of all types and returned $7 billion to constituents. This is Congressman Kevin Kiley. You can visit my website at kiley.house.gov to learn more. We are here to serve you. Thank you for listening. Paid for by official funds authorized by the House of Representatives.
The Mark Van Camp and Robbins Show.
Weekdays from 1 to 4 on the Voice of the Foothills.
Hi, I'm Jamie Martin with Gen Xer.
I'm Dick Van Camp with Lenny. The Beach got
Okay, here we go.
about everything that's going on in the world. Man, we make
Producer Adam, your commercial's coming up here.
To make sense of it all.
Bye 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 is making its comeback.
The Mark Van Camp and Robbins Show.
I don't know if we should put out there what we did. Some friends of mine and I danced to it. That's right, we did. Because of Deadpool and Wolverine closing credits, it's climbed into the Hot 100 chart. The official music video has added nearly 9 views. I gotta figure out what to do here. I never miss it, and neither should you. My goodness, it's early.
Conversations can help your children build math skills. Discovering numbers and shapes with your children in any language is a great way to make math fun. When you get excited about pointing and counting or comparing shapes,
Excited about pointing and counting.
math, and they're never too young to start. Visit talkingisteaching.org/resources/math.
Okay, talking and counting.
And guides to transform everyday moments into magical moments for math.
30 seconds to the top of the hour, 6:59 a.m. Gang, that is 1 hour down. Boy, howdy, do they go fast. We've got a couple more coming up. Coming up next hour, we're going to have your dad jokes. Also, we're going to take a little quiz together. So get out your number 2 pencils and your legal pad paper. Pausing.
And AM 950 KAHR Auburn.
And good Monday morning to you. It is August 19th, and it is right smack dab at the top of the hour. It is 7 a.m. here at FM 104.5, AM 950 K High, Voice of the Foothills. Chris Quant with you here, back in beautiful Studio A in the K High studios here in downtown Auburn, looking out at what's going to be a beautiful day. Hello. Maybe I'll just disappear for a week again and just wait for the temperatures to drop. Okay. 80 degrees in the middle of August with looking for highs, I think, later this week in the 70s. What? Hello. Yes, please. My wife and I over the weekend kept saying, I can't believe how cool it is. Like, at least, I don't know. I'd say upwards of 25 times the other day. Just like, I can't believe how cool the weather is. I can't believe how cool the weather is. As if we were somehow imploring the universe, please please keep it this way. Keep it going. Haven't we suffered enough this summer? Didn't we do our time at the beginning, like pretty much all of July? Feel like we did our time this summer. So now let's just keep it this way. Let's not have a surge of a heat wave in, early fall, late fall. Let's when we decide to go up to Apple Hill and everybody puts on the layers and then quickly sheds all the layers because it gets still so hot in September and October, let's actually have a fall. Let's just have a nice, cool fall. And let's just start. I know it might be a little too much to hope for here this early in August, but gang, get out there and enjoy that beautiful weather. I spent most of my day yesterday on my patio. This is too good to pass up. I'm just going to sit out here and enjoy it with the clear skies and the puffy clouds that were coming. Oh, come on. It's fantastic. We'll check in with meteorologist Tim Root here. We'll check from the expert, not from the pro, not the guy just looking out the window, looking up saying, yep, it's sunny and looks like it's a little cool out there with the breeze blowing. But hope you had a great weekend. Hope you had a good week last week. Last week was a little bit different. Now, when I signed off a little over a week ago on Friday, I said, well, I'll see everybody on Monday, forgetting that I had jury duty, or at least I was on call for jury duty last week. And I don't know if you've done jury duty here recently. When I first got called for jury duty, and some of y'all might remember this, it's nice now because you get to call in before actually going down. But when I got called, my grandpa lived to be 100 years old. I don't think he ever got called for jury duty once, if I'm remembering that right. I think he went almost his entire life without being called for jury duty. Now, he served in the military and all that. I don't know if you serve in the military, do you not have to do jury duty? Is that well, anyway, I don't think that that's necessarily true. I guess I could Google it. But got called. My first time I got called, again, this was in the late 90s, living in Sacramento County at that time. And I remember having to go down. I had to go down for the entire week. That was when you had to just show up every day, whether you got picked or not. You had to show up every day and just sit there in the jury room. And if your name or number, I can't remember what it was, got called, then you would go to a courtroom and they would do the selection. I think I got called to a courtroom at one point, but it was never, I didn't get picked. And so I just ended up sitting in the jury room there for the whole week. I brought a book to read, and no smartphones back then. So brought a book to read. How about that? And I remember they said, man, go take a 2-hour lunch and be back here at, such and such a time. I'm like, 2-hour lunch. All right. So I guess I'm downtown. I'll walk downtown. That was the time. I don't know if you guys remember this. It was the time when a guy basically drove a semi truck into the side of the Capitol in the building there. He took a semi truck and just floored it and drove over the barricades and right into the side of our state capitol there, into the building, and it caught on fire, and it was this whole big thing. Again, that was the late 90s. I don't think we were on high terrorist alert as we were, of course, after 9/11. But I remember that. I remember when I was going to Sac State at the time, a guy that I went to school with was a cameraman for one of the local news stations. And he was outside the barricade, and I saw him, and I'm like, oh, hey, how's it going, man? He's like, hey, you want to see? In his camera, he could zoom in to, I remember the ATF was cleaning up all of the cans of condensed milk that was in the back of that semi truck. And they were just scooping it up with snowplow shovel type things and just scooping it into a big container, and with the burnt out shell of a truck that went into the side of the building there. But definitely remember that. That was my first call for jury duty. But this last week, you never know. It's so weird. I finally, spoiler alert, I called in every day, and you can't plan for this because you call in at 5 o'clock after 5 p.m. to see what your assignment is for the next day. Do you go in? Do you not go in? You don't know until after 5 p.m. So it makes it hard, especially for a radio station, to schedule. It's kind of last minute to schedule out a whole nother day. And so we just said, hey, all right, we're just going to go ahead and keep it programmed just for me being gone for a couple days. And then maybe, like it did last time, maybe by Wednesday, if I don't get called in by Wednesday, then now you're done. They last time I did this, I called in and they said, I think it was midweek. They're like, yeah, don't call in anymore. We're done. We don't need you. But not this last week. This last week, call in every day. And by Wednesday, I thought, oh, surely they don't need me by Wednesday. When I call in on Thursday, they're just going to say, nah, you're good. So I call in Thursday and they're like, nope, call back again tomorrow. or no. Then when I said on Thursday, they said, oh no, you need to come in on Friday. I was like, really? I've never been called in on a Friday before. Thought I had gotten away with it. Nope. Went in, showed up, got to go to the Auburn, got to come here in Auburn at the historic courthouse. Didn't have to go down to Roseville. And that was super cool. And turns out they were doing a 15-day trial that was going to be starting here this week. And I said, well, I've got travel plans. And they said, oh, well, you can go ahead and defer it. Already having deferred it once earlier this year to this last Monday. So now I've been deferred to December. So this jury duty thing, I thought I would get credit for just showing up yesterday or on Friday. But no, didn't get credit for that. Need to be on tap again here in December. So jury duty, which I think I got my first summons back in, I want to say March, is now going to be extended out through the entire year. So gone, yes, last week, and it was super interesting. And again, you kind of, I get that we all need to do our civic duty. It's part of being this great country, part of being a democracy, jury of our peers, and what makes our country great. But there was a lady that came in right behind me, and she said, I'm a single, or I'm not a single mom, but I'm the sole provider for my special needs child. And she was asking the court staff, she's like, how do you plan for this? How can you, like, I'm on hold or I'm on call, but I don't know what to do for arrangements. And they're like, yeah, basically saying, yeah, it's hard. We admit it. There's not really much you can do other than, if you do get called in, just plead your case to the judge and he'll probably let you go, but you do need to show up. And it does kind of put your life on hold a little bit for a week. But to be part of this great democracy, to be part of a place where you get a jury by your peers, all right, I'll put my life on hold for a week. But glad to be back here. Glad to be here with you now as we're getting started with this new week, with this new day together. Loving the weather out there. We need to find out what that's going to look like with meteorologist Tim Root. Timmy, tell us, how are we looking out there today?
Warm in the mid-80s, mostly sunny skies today. Southwest to west wind, 6 to 12 miles per hour. Mostly clear, light winds tonight in the low 60s. Could be very close to 90 Tuesday. Mostly sunny skies. 85 to 90 Wednesday. Dry, sunny weather will continue. Looks like the sunny skies will continue for Thursday as well. This is meteorologist Tim Root from FM 104.5 and AM 950 K-High.
2023 for many people, and especially small businesses, it was a year to put in your rearview mirror. For Homer Insurance, it was a time to build relationships, and right now to say thank you for the many businesses that put their trust and faith in our agency. At Homer, we strive to be the very best of what we do, and that means saving money by working with the brightest and best insurance companies in America. Please, if you haven't called us yet, call today and let us show you why we make a difference every day to small businesses all over the foothills. Bonds, general liability, workman's comp, auto, home, and life. Give us just a few minutes and see the thousands you can save. Call 916-339-7070 and take a walk back in time. We actually answer every call live. That number again is 916.
All right, we're going to play clockwise or counterclockwise.
Catch Sinatra and Friends, Saturdays and Sundays, right here on 104.5 FM and AM 950 K-High. Join Frank and his friends, Sammy, Dean, Tony Bennett, and more, performing songs from the Great American Songbook. Sinatra and Friends Weekends, brought to you by Naturewood Home Furnishing on Folsom Boulevard in Rancho Cordova. Right here on the voice of the foothills, 104.5 FM, AM 950, and streaming all over the world at khigh.com.
10 minutes past the top of the hour, 7:10 a.m. All right, we're going to take a little bit of a break here. When we come back, came across this little quiz thing here, clockwise or counterclockwise, something that spins. We're going to do a little brain exercise here. Wake your brain up, get you thinking, make sure that, it's always good to have the brain kind of give it some tests here just to make sure it's staying sharp here as you're going through life. So we'll do that clockwise or counterclockwise, little quiz coming up here in just a little bit, back right after this.
We've seen so many people holding up signs saying, mask
quotation method. Well, that may sound like a good idea in some. It's really a very stupid one that would lead to widespread economic collapse. There's proof of removing millions of people from the workforce due to tax revenues and social security payments. If we're collecting the check now, it would have to shrink drastically, and the system would go bankrupt years sooner than currently predicted. That's just one negative impact. A recent article from the Deseret News about Utah, targeted after liberalism, is headline, quote, "Immigrants strengthen the American economy. The research is clear," end quote. So, if that research is clear, and folks, it is, why is one major party demonizing the very people helping to make our post-COVID economy the strongest in the world? Scapegoat, a weapon used by every demagogue. Find it afterward and blame your problems on those people, so you don't have to look in the mirror and take responsibility for your own contribution to your problems. Dr. Dave Davidson, the co with the Mental Health Network. Public service at Sierra Hills and Visual and Family Therapy in Auburn.
11 minutes past the top of the hour, 7:11 a.m. All right, now before we went to the break there, we said, all right, there's a little quiz that we're going to play. We're going to keep our brains sharp here, try and put them to use as we're getting ready for this morning. Producer Adam, maybe how about a little music here? It's a little loud there. All right, let's have some music here. All right, it's counterclockwise or clockwise. You've got to figure out which way these things spin, and we'll go through the answers together. Admit I did this a little bit earlier today, and I thought a little bit harder about these than I should have. I got about half of them right. So here we go. Everybody got your number 2 pencils and your pad of paper here. Here we go. Here's something that rotates, and you have to think, does it rotate clockwise or counterclockwise? First one, the Earth. Does the Earth rotate clockwise or counterclockwise? And I should have remembered an episode of Bill Nye, growing up watching Bill Nye the Science Guy, and he talked very distinctly about this. And I remember even the sound effect that went with it after I found out what the answer was. I got this one wrong. This is one that I got wrong. So the Earth, does it rotate clockwise or counterclockwise? Number 2, there's 6 of these, by the way. The Kentucky Derby. Is the Kentucky Derby clockwise or counterclockwise? You think about where the horses, just think about your vantage point. That's where I had to think of it, is the starting gate for which way the horses are pointed. And when they start, are they going clockwise or counterclockwise? Number 2, dealing cards for a game in North America. All right, put yourself at the table. How are you dealing the cards out? Are you going clockwise? Are you going counterclockwise? What is the way to do that? Number 4, tightening most screws or nuts. Everybody got the poem, the little rhyme going through your head there? There we go. All right. Tightening most screws or nuts. Clockwise or counterclockwise? Here's another one for you. Number 5, hurricanes in the northern hemisphere. Hurricanes in the northern hemisphere. Clockwise or counterclockwise? And finally, number 6, carousels in North America. Do they go different in the southern hemisphere? I don't know. All right, how we do here? Clockwise or counterclockwise? Let's take a look here. First off, the Earth. Counterclockwise. Same for most other planets, going counterclockwise. Did you get that one? All right, number 2, the Kentucky Derby. Also counterclockwise. If you think they start there on the left and they move their way over to the right there with those horses, there we go to the start. Dealing cards for a game. You probably got this one if you're sitting there at the table. You got it, clockwise. Tightening most screws or nuts. Remember, righty-tighty, lefty-loosey. That's going clockwise. Hurricanes in the northern hemisphere. I got this one wrong. I thought it was clockwise. It's counterclockwise because of the Coriolis effect. And finally, carousels in North America. Did you sit there? Did you remember the last time you were on a carousel? Okay, the horse was pointed what way? Which way is it going? It is going counterclockwise. How'd you do? I think I got 3 out of 6 right there. So, all right, got our brains working a little bit there as we're getting started with our day. But hey, we need to turn it over now to the Fox Business Report.
I'm Susan Lee, and this is the Fox Business Report. Advanced Lego Devices is making another move to step up its artificial intelligence business, so it can compete with NVIDIA. AMD will pay nearly $5 billion to buy New Jersey-based ZT Systems, a company that makes systems, servers, and other infrastructure for data centers. Estee Lauder's longtime CEO Fabrizio Guida will step down next year, but he's agreed to be available to advise the company. Estee Lauder is now looking for his replacement. The beauty company's lowering sales expectations for the year because of weaker business
predicts it will make
In China.
7-Eleven's parent company, 7 & I, has received a takeover offer from Canadian-based convenience store company Couche-Tard. That's your Fox Business Report. I'm Jim Kosoma, invested in you.
This summer, the games will bring us together to celebrate our nation's athletes, their sacrifices, resilience, and unwavering passion. Because at the U.S. Center for Safe Sport, we believe athletes are defined by their journey, not the medals they win. And creating a safer stage for all levels of competition is our priority, from the practice fields in your town to the podium in Paris. Join the movement to end abuse at uscenterforsafesport.org.
It is great to have high school football back on K-High, and we have a good one for you this Friday night as Placer.
She's real fine, my
Auburn Trophy, the Roseville All-Ball, and beating the name. The Hillman of Placer High taking on Castle Robles Friday night. You can hear it on K-High.
Talking about another event. It's 17 minutes past the top of the hour, 7:17 a.m. Hey, yeah, 7:17 a.m., not p.m. Auburn Cruise Night is coming up this next month, the September 13th. Make sure that you're getting it on the calendar there. This is the last one for the year. Cruise Night happening September 13th, 5 to 9 p.m. at the Auburn Clock Tower on Lincoln Way. That's 905 Lincoln Way. It's the 40th season of Auburn Cruise Night, a family fun night. Cars, cool people, food, and music. Yeah, it's kind of like the place to be seen, to see and be seen out there. Again, the last cruise night is happening on September 13th, so make sure you get it on the calendar. It's going to be from 5 to 9 p.m. at the Auburn Clock Tower, 905 Lincoln Way. Again, it's the 40th season of Auburn Cruise Night. Family fun night of cool cars, people, food, and music. Check it out. Back with more right after this.
Listen to the Garden Goddesses Saturday morning at 8 a.m. here on the Voice of the Foothills. If you want to be kept in the front know, join us on our radio show. The Garden Goddesses Saturday mornings from 8 to 9 a.m. on the
Inch by inch, row by row.
AM 950, FM 104.
Ooh, I got to figure out dad jokes.
The Voice of the Foothills. Call in to win a prize from Green Acres Nursery and Supply.
18 minutes past the top of the hour, 7:18 a.m. Coming up in our next segment, it's going to be your Daily Dad Jokes. Yeah, we haven't had those in a while. Daily Dad Jokes, you can send me yours live at khigh.com, Live at khigh.com, or you can call me 530-885-3565. Daily Dad Jokes coming up next. Back now to America's First News, and I'll see you back here at the bottom of the hour.
Listening to America's First News with Matt Rack on TNN Radio.
Okay, so we click over to Dad Jokes there. Go to the inbox.
The Democratic Party reintroduces itself to a divided nation this week, having been transformed by money, momentum, relief, and even joy that followed Vice President Kamala Harris's rise to the top of the ticket. The whiplash of the last month culminates in a convention that kicks off today in Chicago. Above all, the 4-day gathering of thousands of activists and party leaders from across the nation is designed to celebrate and strengthen Harris as President Joe Biden's replacement and boost her campaign to defeat Republican Donald Trump in November. Demonstrations are expected every day of the convention, and while their agendas vary, many activists agree an immediate ceasefire in the Israel-Hamas war is the priority. Things kicked off Sunday on the convention's eve with a march along Michigan Avenue against the war in Gaza and for abortion and LGBTQ+ rights. After years of polling showing that Americans are worried about inflation, Harris is aiming to contain prices where they've often been most felt, at the grocery store. She's promising to, during her first 100 days in office, send Congress proposed federal limits on price increases for food producers.
Okay,
and
mark
grocers.
unread.
Harris
Okay,
also is seeking new authority
back
for
to
the Federal
school
Trade Commission that
jokes.
approves general and states across the country.
That's good.
And steeper punishment for violators. She also wants to use government regulators to crack down on mergers and acquisitions among large food industry businesses that the vice president argues have contributed to higher prices. The Washington Post called it a gimmick. Michigan Democratic Governor Gretchen Whitmer defended the plan on NBC's Meet the Press.
Well, I think people are reading too much into what has been put out there.
We know that Helen Nurse is going to be focused.
Why was school easier for cave people?
And we know that Helen
Because
Nurse is already
there was no history to study. Okay.
more accessible and affordable for Americans.
Why did the broom get a poor grade in school? Why? Good poor grade in school because it was always sweeping during class. Okay, all right, that's funny. Let's see.
She sees every American. She understands what people are.
Luke comes home from school and his mother says, "What did you learn today?" Luke replies, "Not enough." His mother asks, "Why do you say that?" Luke replies, "They said I have to go back tomorrow." That's good. I like that one.
Well, Governor, I hear you saying that.
All right. I like that. I like that.
The vice president is proposing. You have former President Trump calling the policies communist. The Washington Post editorial board called it a gimmick. Is this plan to ban price gouging anything more than a gimmick, Governor?
I think it speaks to Kamala Harris's values that she wants to.
Joe H. While most puns make me feel dumb, math puns make me feel number. Math puns make me feel number. My friend Jay had twins recently, and he wanted to name them. And he wanted to name them after him. So I suggested K and L E. K and L E.
That's what this is all about.
Harris rolled out her economic platform on Friday, ramping up attacks against corporations for driving up grocery store prices and a sharp departure from Bidenomics, which is on the blame on big business for inflation.
Joe.
President Donald Trump Saturday again sought to deliver a campaign message
and
focused on the economy,
that's going to
but the Republican repeatedly swerved into non sequiturs and personal attacks, including twice declaring he was better looking than Kamala Harris. Trump can't seem to stay on topic as his Republican allies warn him personal attacks will get him nowhere. GOP Senator Lindsey Graham told NBC Trump can't win with the personal attacks.
I would make it about policy. A nightmare for Harris is to defend her policy choices. Every day we're not talking about her policy choices as vice president. And
why did the broom get a poor grade in school? Because he was always sweeping during class. A man dug a tunnel out of jail and came up on a preschool playground. I'm free, he yelled. Big deal, said the boy. I'm 4. I'm free, he yelled. Big deal, said the little boy. I'm 4.
Okay. Let's get together and actually campaign for the guy rather than just give advice, but in the advice giving column. Here's what I would say. Donald Trump, President Trump can win this election. His policies are good for America. And if you have a policy debate for president, he wins. Donald Trump, the provocateur may not win this election.
All right. That 4 minutes for our next segment here.
I read a so-called Republican who Ronald Reagan didn't like, by the way, and she didn't like him, but she got credit for being this Reagan speechwriter. Highly overrated. I don't know anything about her. I don't know her badly, but that's okay. She called it wrong. She's called it wrong now for about 8 years. But she said one thing that got me. She said Kamala has one big bitch. She's a very beautiful woman. She's a beautiful woman. So I decided to go back and reread the clause. I'm not saying he's, but I say that I am much better looking than her. I think that's fine. I'm a better looking person than Kamala.
Trump to hammer Harris on the economy associated her with the Biden administration's inflation woes and likening her latest proposal against price gouging to measures in communist nations, but then veered off topic. His Saturday rally was a stint at the arena in Wilkes-Barre, the largest city in Luzerne County, where he's had victories in the past 2 elections. California Governor Gavin Newsom signed a bipartisan package of bills that aims to crack down on smash and grab robberies and crimes, making it easier to go after repeat shoplifters and auto thieves and increase penalties for those running professional reselling schemes. The move comes as Democratic leadership works to prove that they're tough on crime while trying to convince voters to reject the ballot measure that would bring even harsher sentences for repeat offenders of shoplifting and drug charges.
So I'll be signing 10 bills today on retail theft, property theft, and auto theft. These bills will strengthen existing laws, they'll enhance other laws, and they will address the challenges that are well outside the purview of previous initiatives and laws like Prop 47, and that's the issue of organized retail theft, the issue of serial theft, the issue that is front and center in the consciousness of so many Californians. You see it online, social media, you see it on the nightly news. This goes to the heart of the issue, and it does it in a thoughtful and judicious way. This is the real deal. Grocers and the retailers understand that.
The legislation includes the most significant changes to address retail theft in years, allowing law enforcement to combine the value of goods stolen from different victims to impose harsher penalties and arrest individuals for shoplifting using video footage or witness statements. Democrats spent months earlier trying to unsuccessfully keep a tougher on crime initiative off the November ballot, Proposition 36, which would make it a felony for repeat shoplifters and some drug charges. Democrats worry the measure would disproportionately criminalize low-income people and those with substance abuse issues rather than target ringleaders. Still a lot more to come on this Monday morning. To get you moving right now, your Transportation Minute.
This is your Transportation Channel Minute presented by New Spark Media. Exciting news from the world of aviation. Electric passenger planes could become a reality sooner than expected. A new design by Elysian, an aviation startup, can carry 90 passengers up to 500 miles. A significant improvement from the current range of electric planes, which is limited to 20 passengers and 200 miles. Electric planes have the potential to significantly reduce pollution from shorter flights, although they won't completely solve all airplane emissions. Elysian went back to the drawing board and drew inspiration from first-generation long-range aircraft. The resulting plane features a large, highly effective wing that can fold to fit airport gates. Of course, there are challenges as the batteries are still heavy and these planes won't be able to replace all flights. However, they represent a significant advancement in the pursuit of cleaner air travel. The Transportation Channel is powered by newspark.io. Go to newspark.io to learn more about what we can do for you. The Transportation Channel Minute. I'm John Acello.
America's First News will be right back.
Let's see, if something costs less, but people are happier with it, that sounds like something to look into, and that is Medi-Share. Maybe you've heard switching to Medi-Share to pay for healthcare can save many families up to $500 a month, and that is huge. But it's also true that people are way more satisfied after making the switch, too. The member satisfaction rate for Medi-Share is double that of the typical health insurance plan. Double. Medi-Share works, too. It's been around for 30 years. Members have shared more than $5 billion of each other's bills. People love having telehealth and a huge nationwide PPO network. So, yeah, really, you can save a ton, like it better. Imagine being happy with how you're taking care of your health care. So if you're self-employed or part of the gig economy and you just want a plan you're happy with, you can call right now. You'll get a price within 2 minutes. So see what you can save. This is a very, very smart use of 2 minutes. Here's the number you need. Call 855-SHARE-40. That's 855-SHARE 40. 855-SHARE-40. This is an urgent announcement for anyone that's $10,000 or more in debt. Before you make another minimum payment, you need to know there are special programs that can completely free you of your debt. Total Financial Freedom can help you become debt-free in months instead of years. Resolve your credit card debt, signature loans, department store cards, internet loans, and timeshares. Call Total Financial Freedom now at 800-878-6020. For a free consultation. For 16 years, Total Financial Freedom is
30 seconds, Adam.
Out of debt. You can feel confident when calling because Total Financial Freedom is A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau. Battling for years and years, the endless cycle of minimum payments could take decades. You have the right to get your debt resolved and substantially reduce your monthly payments.
Here we go.
Total Financial Freedom now at 800-878-6020. That's 800-878-6020. 800-878-6020.
And good Monday morning to you. It is August 19th, and it is 30 minutes past the top of the hour, 7:30 a.m. And hey, good morning to you, Lake of the Pines. Currently, oh, this is beautiful right now. 61 degrees. Get outside and enjoy that. Looking for a high today of 87 degrees. All right, it's been a hot minute since we've done this. It's time for your daily dad jokes. That's right, make you laugh, sigh, or probably just roll your eyes. One way or the other. You'll probably do all three with the jokes that we have. We're getting ready for back to school. One of my kids is getting ready, all geared up to go back tomorrow, getting ready for, some kids started yesterday. So we've got, or not yesterday, but yesterday was Sunday. Last week was the start of school for some around here. So early now, man. I guess they're getting out earlier now, but don't know. Call me old school. I feel like after Labor Day, that's when you go back. Let's go back in the fall. Some parents are like, shut up, Chris. They're back in school. That's the important part right now. All right, fair enough. Either way. But let's start out with this one. We checked the inbox here live at khigh.com. Got one from Joe H. While most puns make me feel numb, math puns make me feel number. Number. It looks like number. All right. While most puns make me feel numb, math puns make me feel number. There we go. All right. How about this one? Got one here from Linda here. Speaking of back to school, Linda, thanks for sending this one in. Luke comes home from school and his mother says, "What did you learn today?" Luke replies, "Not enough." His mom asks, "Why do you say that?" Luke replies, "They say I have to go back tomorrow." That's good. That's really good. I love that one. How about this one? We've got some back to school jokes here. Why did the broom get a poor grade in school? Because it was always sweeping during class. Hey, I got a story about that. A guy who fell asleep in one of my classes in high school. I remember this. How about this one? A man dug a tunnel out of jail and came up in a preschool playground. He yelled, "I'm free! I'm free!" "Big deal," said the little boy. "I'm 4." There we go. I'm free. I'm like he's 3, Adam. I get it. All right, there we go. And those have been your daily dad jokes. You can send me yours again at live@khigh.com. Thanks, Linda and Joe, for sending yours in, or you can call me 530-885-3565. Back with your K-High weather right after this.
K-High Radio Team. Each weekday morning from 9 to noon, I'm live on K-High. We tackle issues like cholesterol, diabetes, women's health, children, geriatrics, relationships, and more. And with all that's going on in Washington, we even touch on government and policies impacting your life. The
Dr. Dahlia. All right, Timmy, you're up.
Join me, Dr. Dahlia, Monday through Friday from 9 to noon here on FM 104.5 and AM 950 KHI, the voice of the foothills.
Monday weather forecast, high pressure building in. It'll be warm in the mid-80s. Most skies today. Southwest to west wind, 6 to 12 miles per hour. Low 60 light winds tonight and low 60s. It'll be very close to 90 Tuesday. Most seas.
Ooh, close to 90 on Tuesday.
Dry, sunny weather will continue. Looks like the sunny skies will continue for Thursday as well. This is meteorologist from FM 104.5 and AM 950 KHI.
33 minutes past the top of the hour, 7:33 a.m. Coming up in our next segment, we're going to have updates for the calendar, events that are going on here in the community, plus your K-High news and more from market updates, more market updates, more from market updates, more market updates, all that good stuff coming up here. Back now to America's First News, and I'll see you here in just a little bit. What the hell am I saying? I think something takes over my brain. No clue what I'm saying. Oh, well. It is what it is.
And jurors in Texas are expected to resume deliberations today on whether the parents of a student accused
Text my wife.
people in 2018
Morning to you.
should be held financially liable for the damages. The victim's lawsuit looks to hold Demetrius Pagortis and his parents.
Pagortis. All right, back to practice the news again.
Pursuing at least $1 million in damages. Victims' attorneys say the parents failed to provide necessary support for their son's mental health and didn't do enough to prevent him from accessing their gun. An attorney for the parents of their son's mental break wasn't foreseeable, and that he hid his plans for the shooting from them. His trial for killing 8 students and 2 teachers has been on hold since November of 2019, when he was declared incompetent to stand trial. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky said Sunday the daring military incursion into Russia's Kursk region aims to create a buffer zone to prevent further attacks by Moscow across the border. It was the first time Zelensky clearly stated the aim of the operation, which was launched on August 6th. He also urged Kyiv's allies to lift remaining restrictions on using Western weapons to attack targets deeper in Russia, including in Kursk, saying his troops could deprive Moscow of any ability to advance and cause destruction if granted sufficient long-range capabilities. There's bipartisan support for it in Washington. Republican chair of the House Intelligence Committee, Mike Turner, and Democratic Senator Mark Kelly told CBS's Face the Nation they support Zelensky's call.
A concern with the Biden administration's restrictions
also needing to get them modified is Ukraine is finally in a position where they can hold Russia accountable. If they have now entered into Russian territory, if they can use long-range weapon systems to hold accountable Russia's valid military targets that are attacking Ukraine, we can change the dynamics on the ground. You can't continue to just have a front line in Ukraine where Russia is out producing weapon systems that Ukraine from what Ukraine has, and have this turn out well for Ukraine. In this instance, if the Biden administration's restrictions are lifted, we also know even if there is a Harris administration that follows, that Ukraine's support would be there, the ability to hold Russia accountable would be there.
Restrictions, some of them have already been lifted, and since the invasion now over 2 years ago, we have periodically, as we should, reevaluate how we're going to conduct ourselves with regards to the Ukrainians' use of the security assistance that we provide them. And I think it's appropriate to continue to look at what their needs are. How can we make adjustments? What new weapon systems are we going to provide to them? They just recently got F-16s. My hope is that over time here, the Ukrainians learn how to better deploy that weapon system, and we're going to see some positive effects from F-16s on the battlefield. The same is true for ATACMS and HIMARS and these other weapons. So, so periodically reevaluating what we allow them to use is the appropriate thing to do.
Russia's foreign ministry and pro-Kremlin bloggers allege that U.S.-made HIMARS launchers have been used to destroy bridges. Those claims can't be independently verified. Moscow appears to have increased attacks on Kyiv, targeting it Sunday with ballistic missiles for a third time this month, according to the head of the Municipal Military Administration. Wall Street coasted to the close of its best week since November, after the latest report showing consumers are feeling better about the economy than expected. Even though confidence rose following last week's strong run of reports, the economy is still likely slowing under the weight of high interest rates. That's by design. The Fed Reserve's goal has been trying to cool what has a hot job market by making it more expensive for companies and households to borrow and spend. The question is whether the slowdown in the economy's growth will overshoot and become a recession. That's still to be determined, but the hope on Wall Street is that an expected cut to interest rates at the Fed's next meeting in September will help forestall that. Fed Reserve Bank of Chicago President and CEO Austin Goolsbee told CBS he doesn't think it's a certainty that the Fed Reserve will lower interest rates in September.
The biggest puzzle that we've seen in the inflation numbers has been the persistently high inflation rate on shelter and housing. And we can get a little mixed up because that official measure is a very lagging indicator of what the actual housing price conditions are on the ground. So our puzzle has been why the market rents inflation rate has come down, but that hasn't yet been reflected into the official backward-looking housing inflation. So one of the things that's going to bring it down is just we're going to keep getting more data, and that's going to get incorporated into the official series. But the second is the interest rate, how it works, how the Fed stabilizes business cycle is when it tightens the screwdriver, the interest rate goes up and the demand for housing goes down. And so some of those interest rate sensitive sectors of the economy, weakness in that is partly how the monetary transmission takes place and the inflation rate softens. And it's worth noting that last year, inflation fell by almost as much as it has ever fallen in a single year in the United States. And that happened without a recession, which is unparalleled. So we're hoping to continue some of that as we go through 24.
So a recession for you, is it off the table?
No, look, you've seen the table at the FOMC meetings, a huge table.
I know.
Everything is always on the table. There's possibility of recession. The last GDP growth number was higher than expected, so that was one of the bright spots. But you always got to worry about every contingency of the central bank.
The market's focus swings to next week to Jackson Hole, Wyoming, where Fed Reserve Chair Jerome Powell will give a speech late in the week, and the setting has been home to big policy announcements in the past. Turning to sports this morning, and Parker Meadows set off fireworks.
Boy, good thing I have a reminder coming up.
Hundreds of little leaguers to their feet and scored Zach McKinstry on a head.
What's today? Today's the 19th.
A 3-2 victory over the Yankees Sunday night.
Financial awareness.
Little League Classic. The crowd of mostly Little Leaguers and their coaches and families were among the more than 2,500 fans at historic Golden Field who came to see the Yankees Aaron Judge go. What they got was a game that resembled so many Little League matchups each year across the globe.
Enter and Parker Meadows, winning run at second. Swings and sends it to left. The Nuggets get a good arm. They're going to wave him. Delay on the throw. He is safe.
The call on ESPN. The Classic had the charm and concession prices of a local Little League game, $3 each for a hot dog, water, and crackers. Shohei Ohtani hit his National League.
All right. I guess I should have checked.
Shutout innings, leading the LA Dodgers to a 2-1 victory over the Cardinals.
So, rifle on the first pitch.
Okay. Got a guest coming in, apparently. What question should I ask?
Leaders won for the 7th time in 10 games. Kershaw allowed 4 hits and struck out 2. A 3-time Cy Young Award winner through 70 pitches in his 5th start since undergoing shoulder surgery in November. On the hardwood, Kelsey Mitchell had 27 points. Caitlin Clark added 23 and 9 assists. And Lexi Holt had 12 of her career-high 22 points in the 4th quarter Sunday, helping the Indiana Fever beat the Seattle Storm 92-75. With 232 assists so far this season, Clark broke the previous WNBA record of 224, held by Tisha Panettiere in 1988.
What's it mean to you to pass a legend like that? Well, Tisha's been a big fan of mine ever since I was in college, and somebody that has always been right there to congratulate me or just be somebody that's offered advice. So for to pass somebody like her, I'm just forever thankful. She's been such a legend in our game. But it's super cool, but hopefully there's a lot more of those.
Clark making the remarks to ESPN's Holly Rowe. The number 1 overall pick in the 2024 draft has scored at least 20 points in 5 of her last 6 games. She finds motivation where she can.
I got a technical for basically being mad at myself because I missed the 3 and then I went and hit the backboard. And he told me it was disrespectful to the game of basketball. So I don't know. It reminded me of the technical that I got in college where I said, damn it, where it's like the personal frustration had nothing to do with my team. It had nothing to do with their reffing, had nothing to do with the other team. It was just because I'm a competitor. And I felt like I should have been making more shots. So, but I think he fired me up to continue to play a lot harder. I thought we got a lot better after he did that. So I want to thank him.
Indiana at 13 and 15, which has matched its win total from the 2023 campaign with 12 games remaining in the regular season, has won back-to-back games coming out of the month-long break for the Paris Olympics. Jewel Roy led Seattle with 26 points. On the verge of a collapse, Hideki Matsui rolled in a 25-foot birdie putt on the 17th hole to regain the lead and then hit 2 shots as precise as any he hit all day for one last birdie to win a wild PGA Tour postseason opener at the FedEx St. Jude Championship.
All right.
On the final
How much time do I have?
among the
Oh, less than a
toughest
minute.
on the TPC Southwind.
All right. Well, we'll see how we do. Man, thank goodness for calendar reminders.
In 2020,
What are we going to announce?
celebrates 100 years of life-saving service as the world's leading nonprofit organization focused on heart and brain health. Heart disease still kills more people in the United States each year than all types of cancer combined, but more than half of Americans are unaware of this fact, according to a recent Harris Poll survey conducted for the American Heart Association. However, the majority of heart disease is preventable. New research has improved the prevention, diagnosis, and treatment of heart disease and its risk factors. Efforts led by the American
A tribute to the music of Queen, Friday, August 23rd.
and helped
I'm
people
gonna
with
make a
heart
decision
disease
here.
live longer and more productive lives while managing their condition and risk factors.
Okay.
To learn more about the American Heart Association's Century of Service and how you can help, visit heart.org/centennial.
We are the entertainment you love and information that shapes your day. We are your lifeline. We are your computer. We are broadcasters.
And good Monday morning to you. It is August 19th, and it is 15 minutes to the top of the hour, 7:45 a.m. And hey, good morning to you, Lincoln. Currently, it is 63 degrees right now, looking for a high today of 93 degrees. All right, let's talk about another event for the calendar coming up here real soon. It is the Gold Country Fair happening at the Gold Country Fairgrounds. That's going to be September 5th through the 8th. It's going to be here before you know it. So make sure that you get it on the calendar right now. You can find out more at Gold Country. goldcountryfair.com. Now you can get there for all the dates and times and the events, all that's happening. You can get your tickets. Advanced tickets are available now. Buy early to guarantee your ticket to summer fun. It's going to be a lot of fun. There's going to be rides and games. There's going to be exhibits out there. You can show off your creativity at this year's fair by entering in one of the competitive exhibit programs. And again, you can do that at goldcountryfair.com. A lot is going out there. You could be a livestock exhibitor. And my wife recently got in, well, not recently, she's been doing it for a long time, but kicked up her crocheting again. And she's making these things. She's busting these things out. I'm like, hon, you need to enter this stuff in the fair. I think it's good. I'm a little biased, but she definitely should. And if you have something, you should do that as well. You can contact them again at the Gold Country Fair website. That's goldcountryfair.com. But again, it's coming up here at the Gold Country Fairgrounds, September 5th through the 8th. And parking is going to be large vehicles, $10, motorcycles, $5. So if you're going to be parking there on the grounds, just make sure you're bringing a little bit extra money for parking. And then, of course, all the food. You're going to get all the fair food as well. Bring money for that. And the rides and the games. Lots of good stuff. Again, Gold Country Fair happening September 5th through the 8th at the Gold Country Fairgrounds. Back with your K-High News right after this.
I was looking around like, man, the sun is shining. That is a threat to this country. I feel
Okay. Time to do the news.
Weekdays from 1 to 4 on the Voice of the Foothills, FM 104.5.
Hopefully Keith doesn't get here too early. And here's your K-High News for Monday, August 19th. I'm Chris Quant. Freeway shooting incident, request for public assistance. This is from the CHP Auburn office. On August 16th, 2024, at approximately 8:58 p.m., a shooting occurred on westbound I-80 east of Maple Street in the Auburn, California Highway Patrol area. The suspects fired from a vehicle into another vehicle, resulting in minor injuries to 2 occupants within the victim vehicle. Victims called 911 and were subsequently transported to local hospitals. Both victims have been treated and expected to make a full recovery. The CHP and its investigators secured the scene and closed I-80 temporarily to search for additional evidence. CHP investigators are actively conducting a criminal investigation and searching for those responsible for this incident. We, the CHP, want to assure the public that this appears to be an isolated event and there is no ongoing threat or additional risk to the public at this time. The Auburn CHP office is seeking the public's assistance in gathering additional information about this incident. If you have any information or video footage regarding this incident, please contact the Auburn CHP office at 916-663-3344 or 1-800-TEL-CHP, or you can email 220pop@chp.ca.gov. Woman arrested after fire burns grass and a structure in Grass Valley, prompting evacuations. This is from the Sacramento Bee. Evacuations were ordered along a main highway cutting through Grass Valley after a fire broke out near businesses on Friday afternoon, and a woman was arrested on suspicion of causing the blaze, according to CAL FIRE and law enforcement. A grass fire ignited between Lumberjack's restaurant and a Sierra Motorsports shop near Highway 20 and Nevada City Highway, CAL FIRE said on social media at about 3:45 p.m. on Friday. Bushes were burning between the two businesses, CAL FIRE said. Grass Valley Police, in an update shortly after 4:30 p.m., said forward progress had stopped on the vegetation portion of the fire, but that one of the business structures was, quote, still actively involved, unquote, in flames. The Grass Valley Police Department said online the details surrounding how the fire was started are still being investigated. Back with more news after this.
In the heating and air conditioning business, the state of California has millions of regulations, but surprisingly, almost nothing when it comes to the technical knowledge required of a heating and air technician.
That means they can send a salesman to your home that looks like a true.
Which is great news for Disney since they are both made by Disney. Thanks to the success of these two films alongside Inside Out 2, $1.6 billion worldwide, and Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. I'm muted, right? Okay. $397 million worldwide. Disney has grabbed 42% of the summer box office ticket sales in the U.S. and Canada, according to Box Office Mojo. Last summer, Disney's market share was just 27%, and its movie-making business was nearing crisis mode. Taking a look at the week ahead, the DNC begins today in Chicago. At their national convention, Democrats will try to do what the Chicago Bulls have failed to accomplish since 1998. Use the United Center as a springboard for a trip to the White House. President Biden and Hillary Clinton will speak tonight. Barack Obama will take the stage on Tuesday. And in the finale on Thursday, Kamala Harris will accept the Democratic nomination and outline her platform to a national audience. Chicago is preparing for thousands of protesters demonstrating against the war in Gaza, in support of abortion rights and other social issues. Powell will speak in Jackson Hole, Wyoming. Later this week, central bankers will meet in the shadow of the Tetons for the Jackson Hole Symposium.
Connie and the gang, and you'll never know what you're gonna find. Everything from pets in the studio.
Oh yeah, that's a real thing.
To the advice you've come to count on. So join Connie and a cast of thousands on the K-High Corral.
Here we go.
Mornings at 7 a.m. here on 104.5 FM. AM 950.
Streaming all over the world at khigh.com. Continuing now with your K-High news from Morning Brew, Disney is carrying the summer box office. Alien Romulus unseated billion-dollar juggernaut Deadpool and Wolverine as the top movie in North America with an opening weekend haul of $41.5 million, which is great news for Disney since they are both made by Disney. Thanks to the success of these two films alongside Inside Out 2, $1.6 billion worldwide, and Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, $397 million worldwide, Disney has grabbed 42% of summer box office ticket sales in the US and Canada, according to Box Office Mojo. Last summer, Disney's market share was just 27%, and its movie-making business was nearing crisis mode. And from the Morning Brew, taking a look at the week ahead, the DNC begins today in Chicago. At their national convention, the Democrats will try to do what the Chicago Bulls have failed to accomplish since 1998, use the United Center as a springboard for a trip to the White House. President Biden and Hillary Clinton will speak tonight. Barack Obama takes the stage on Tuesday. And in the finale on Thursday, Kamala Harris will accept the Democratic nomination and outline her platform to a national audience. Chicago is preparing for thousands of protesters demonstrating against the war in Gaza, in support of abortion rights and other social issues. Powell to speak in Jackson Hole, Wyoming. Later this week, central bankers will meet in the shadow of the Tetons for the Jackson Hole Symposium, an annual retreat for global economic officials to talk monetary policy. The main event, Fed Chair Jerome Powell's keynote speech on Friday, which investors hope will clarify the timing and pace of interest rate cuts. Negotiations for a ceasefire in Gaza will resume this week in Cairo. In an attempt to push an agreement across the finish line, Secretary of State Antony Blinken arrived in Israel yesterday and will travel to Egypt on Tuesday. College football is back this Saturday with Week 0, the soft opening of the season before the full slate of games the following week. And Burning Man, which has sold out every year since 2011 before this year, starts on Sunday. And from the Morning Brew, here's what else is brewing. George Santos, the former congressman and current Cameo star, is expected to plead guilty to federal fraud charges stemming from his 2022 midterm campaign today. Purdue recalled more than 167,000 pounds of frozen chicken nuggets and tenders due to possible metal contamination. And The Onion is going back into print after more than a decade. And finally, from the Morning Brew, today's word of the day is opaque, meaning not letting light get through. Opaque. And that's your K-High News for this Monday, August 19th. I'm Chris Quant. Back with more after this.
How they understand that automotive maintenance is neither convenient nor fun. They consider their customers and always put them first, listening to problems and helping find solutions. In addition to Toyotas and Hondas, distributed Toyotas also services Subaru, Nissan, and Infiniti, as well as all other domestic vehicles.
Taking a look at the markets, the stocks only go up The quote stocks only go up rallying cry has returned to Wall Street following a flurry of solid economic reports and the S&P 500's best week of the year. Even the worry ward Sachs lowered their recession probability for next year on account of strong consumer spending. Thanks to the recent pop, the S&P is now just 2% below its record high.
And I'm back to school. Just by shopping at McDonald's. No problem parking. In the Auburn Town Center, right off the bill.
Hi, Congressman Kevin Kiley. We live in the greatest congressional district in America. From the Gold Country to the High Sierra, we are blessed with unmatched view and natural resources. But issues like sky-high gas and food prices and rise in crime make life hard for men. I'm working across party lines to pass common sense legislation that will make life better, safer, and more affordable. If you're a veteran or senior trying to get help with your benefits or having any other issues with the federal government bureaucracy, call my office toll-free at 1-888-406-3855.
Okay, here we go. What's our next segment? Where am I? 6 minutes.
$7 billion to constituents. This is Congressman Kevin Kiley. You can visit my website at kiley.house.gov to learn more. We are here to serve you. Thank you for listening. Paid for by official funds authorized by the House of Representatives.
3 minutes to the top of the hour, 7:57 a.m. Taking a quick look at the markets from the Morning Brew. The stocks only go up. Rallying cry has returned to Wall Street following a flurry of solid economic reports and the S&P 500's best week of the year. Even the worry warts at Goldman Sachs lowered their recession probability for next year on the account of strong consumer spending. Thanks to the recent pop, the S&P is now just 2% below its record high. A quick market update for you. Back with more right after this.
Hey there, KI listeners. Producer Adam here to remind you to listen to Chris in the morning along with Matt, America's First News. Get all the local news, weather, traffic, and events you can handle.
Plus a healthy dose of daily dad jokes.
Chris in the morning with Matt Ray, 6 to 9 a.m. here on FM 104.5 and AM 950 KI. The voice of the foothills.
I never miss it, and neither should you.
One of the efforts to courtesy from both of the major parties and some of the smaller ones as well is attempts to position themselves as the defender of the legal. The average Joe, the blue collar. A deeper look at the history of both parties over the past 150 years shows that they have flip-flopped more than once. The rise of the Republicans in the post-Civil War era was an attempt to block efforts by the Democrats at that time to install the wealthy former slave owners of the guardians of the country. 70 years later, in the aftermath of the Great Depression, Franklin Roosevelt, a Democrat, was the
Roosevelt.
We're joined in Sunday mornings from 9 to 10 as they explore different subjects of the Bible and the everlasting gospel of Jesus Christ. Each Sunday, Wesley Smith and Pastor
Buddy Harper.
With strict biblical conclusions. Music during the show features
Jordan DeCanan.
That's Crossroads, Sunday mornings 9 to 10, right here on KI, the voice of the foothills.
20 seconds to the top of the hour, 7:59 a.m. Pausing for station identification. Back with a whole lot more right after this.
K283CN Auburn and AM 950 KAHR Auburn.
And good Monday morning to you. It is Monday, August 19th, and it is right smack dab at the top of the hour. It is 8 a.m. here at FM 104.5, AM 950 K-High, voice of the foothills. Chris Quant with you here, back in beautiful Studio A. Having been gone for about a week. Yeah, thanks, Adam, for checking in on me. I really appreciate that. Yeah, back here, was gone for the last week and didn't really mention anything about it because when I left on Friday, a little over a week ago, I totally forgot. I forgot that I was on call for jury duty last week. So you were here in the last couple of hours. At the top of the hour, I shared like, yeah, hey, sorry about that. Left and thought I would be back on Monday, and then realized over the week, realized actually on Sunday, oh shoot. I'm supposed to be calling in to see if I have to come in for jury duty. So called in, was not called in on Monday and subsequently on Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday. But it makes it really hard to plan your next day because you can't, if you've done this recently in the past, I don't know how many years, basically what you do is you call in the day before after 5 p.m. So if it's Monday, you wait until after 5 o'clock on Monday to see if you have to go in on Tuesday or if you don't have to go in, which makes it really hard to schedule an entire radio program if you don't know until 5 o'clock. So basically what we decided to do is like, well, let's just schedule it for me not being here. And then if things shift and we know ahead of time early enough, then we can shift things back. And I thought, now, by the time that it got to Wednesday, I think last time I did this, by Wednesday, they said, yeah, you're not needed anymore. And so I thought, well, at least on Thursday, if they don't need me on Thursday, I should be clear to go. And then, but son of a gun, this is the first time this ever happened, called in on Friday. So me and a lot of my fellow citizens called into the historic Auburn Courthouse, which if you have a chance, if you're in Placer County, man, if you have jury duty, like pray you get called into that one because that's just a beautiful spot to go for jury duty. Let me tell you. And went in, and I should say that I was serving this date this last week because I postponed it from earlier in the year. So they said pick it in the future. And so August, or stuff isn't happening in August. But sure enough, I get called in and they're like, hey, there's a 15-day trial. And I said, well, I mean, I have travel plans. I have some family travel plans. And they said, all right, well, go see if you can defer it again. So I've deferred it again until December. So this is apparently, I think my first summons was back in March or somewhere back there. So this will be a year-long process of potentially serving jury duty. We'll see. We'll see how it goes in December. But that was my saga as of last week, not being here. Sorry for the abrupt change. If you were expecting something different last week, as I certainly was when I left on Friday, which was what, August 9th now. So it's been a hot minute since I've been here, but glad to be back here in beautiful Studio A in the K-High Studios, looking out at a beautiful day today. We'll check in with meteorologist Tim Root here in just a little bit to see what our weather is looking like. But hey, happy Aviation Day to you, and Potato Day if you're looking for a dinner idea. Oh my gosh. At the Nevada County Fair, if you didn't have a chance to make it, do yourself any fair that the Gold Country Fair is coming up here. If you can get a baked potato with all the fixings, do yourself to it. I had it a while back. It's so good. It's soft ice cream day. Okay, my wife does this where she has to have the ice cream out on the counter and let it like melt for a little bit. She loves the soft ice cream. I hate it. I cannot stand it. I'm like, give me the, like, it's going to melt enough already when it's in my bowl or whatever. Like, give it to me just right out of the freezer. Put a little water on the scooper so it scoops out a little bit easier. But no, don't wait for it to melt a little bit already. Oh, no, thank you. It's World Humanitarian Day and World Photo Day. So go out there and take a picture of the world. Oh, and if you didn't see it this morning, if you were up early enough, sometimes it's worth getting up early. Not every time, but today it was the full moon. If you saw it low in the sky this morning, what a treat that was today. And if it is your birthday today, happy stinking birthday to you. I hope you have a fantastic day today. You share it with one Gene Roddenberry. You know, Star Trek, the creator of Star Trek there. Also, Matthew Perry passed away way too soon. American actor from Friends, passed away a few years ago. And John Stamos, Uncle Jesse, born on this day from Full House, born on this day in 1963. Matthew Perry, born in 1969. Hey, we need to find out what our weather is looking like today. For that, we turn it over to meteorologist Tim Root. Timmy, how are we looking out there? Sunrise 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 3, 6.
85 to 90 Wednesday. Dry, sunny weather will continue. Looks like the sunny skies will continue for Thursday as well. This is meteorologist Tim Root from FM 104.5
body with the best foods and health supplements available. Shop at Sunrise Natural Foods. Their team of buyers and product consultants research and purchase the best nutritional supplements that science can offer to ensure you have the highest quality health products needed to achieve your health goals without breaking your budget.
Perfect.
Seniors save 15% every Wednesday, and everyone saves on hundreds of products every day. In Roseville and in Auburn, Sunrise Natural Foods, made with life's best ingredients.
5 minutes past the top of the hour, 8:05 a.m. Coming up in our next segment, we're going to have your Fox Business Report and more. We'll see you back here in just a little bit. I don't know whether to promote Keith or not, because I don't know if that's still happening.
Secretary of State Anthony Blinken is using his 9th diplomatic mission to the Middle East since the beginning of the Israel-Hamas war to press for the quick conclusion of an elusive ceasefire deal. Blinken's meeting with top Israeli officials before traveling to Egypt Tuesday. Late last week, the three countries needed
Okay.
ceasefire, reported progress
Let's
on a deal
get in there.
most
That happened. This is going to be 5 minutes. We'll do Fox News and traffic.
President Joe Biden.
One of the reasons why I was late from home was I was dealing with the ceasefire in the Middle East. And we're closer than we ever been. I don't want to jinx anything, but as my grandfather said, the grace of God, good little name is a lot of luck. We may have something, but we're not there. It's much, much closer than it was 3 days ago. So keep your fingers crossed.
Are you more optimistic now than you have been in months? Why?
I told God I didn't know what's going on. When would the ceasefire begin if you can't get a deal?
The evolving proposal calls for a three-phase process in which Hamas would release all hostages abducted during its October 7th attack, which triggered the war. In exchange, Israel would withdraw its forces from Gaza and release Palestinian prisoners. Officials said the U.S. has presented proposals to bridge all of the gaps remaining between the two, but Hamas said in a statement Sunday, Israel's prime minister set new conditions, including his refusal of a complete withdrawal of forces from Gaza. Israeli weekend strikes across Gaza killed 29 people, including young Tamils. Chinese and Philippine Coast Guard ships collided at sea, damaging at least 2 boats in an encounter early Monday near a new flashback in their increasingly alarming confrontations in the disputed South China Sea. Both blamed the other for the collision near Sabina Shoal, a disputed atoll in the Spratly Islands, where overlapping claims are also made by Vietnam and Taiwan. There were no reports of injuries. China's Coast Guard accused the Philippines of deliberately crashing one of its ships into a Chinese vessel. The Philippines National Task Force said 2 of the Coast Guard ships encountered, quote, unlawful and aggressive maneuvers from Chinese Coast Guard vessels while en route to islands in the area. China has been at odds with most countries in the Asia-Pacific for years over its sweeping maritime claims, including almost all of the South China Sea, a strategic and resource-rich waterway around which Beijing has drawn a 10-dash line on official maps to delineate what it says is its territory. Sudan has been hit by a cholera outbreak that has killed nearly 24 people and sickened hundreds more in recent weeks, according to health authorities. The African nation's been roiled by 16-month conflict and devastating floods. The health minister said in a statement Sunday that at least 22 people have died from the disease and that at least 354 confirmed cases of cholera have been detected across the country in recent weeks. No time frame was given. The World Health Organization, however, said that 78 deaths were reported from cholera this year in Sudan as of July 28. Tropical storm Ernesto became a hurricane again Sunday as it churned away from Bermuda and headed further out into the northeast Atlantic, sending powerful swells toward the U.S. East Coast, generating rip currents associated with at least 1 death and prompting many rescues. The National Weather Service posted a coastal flood advisory and warned of high risk for rip currents along the Atlantic coast through this evening, saying they could sweep even the best swimmers away. A warning extended from Florida to the Boston area and portions of Maine. National Hurricane Center Director Dr. Michael Brennan.
And then moving nearer over portions of southeastern Newfoundland as we go from Monday night into Tuesday morning. So interest there, we'll want to keep an eye on Ernesto and look for any watches that might be issued perhaps tomorrow by the Canadian Hurricane Center. And then as we go on out into the week, Ernesto will lose tropical characteristics and gradually weaken and eventually dissipate as it moves out across the North Atlantic by the middle of the week. But you can see this huge area of red that extends all the way from the Florida coast through Georgia, North and South Carolina, Virginia, the Mid-Atlantic states, Delmarva Peninsula, New Jersey, Long Island, and even up into Rhode Island and southeastern Massachusetts. That's the area that's indicating a high risk of rip currents today. Those are places where it's likely not going to be safe to go into the water. So if you are at the beach, please heed any warning flags that are flying.
At a news conference Sunday afternoon, Bermuda security minister said the tiny British territory made it through the hurricane without any injuries or major incidents. Steady progress is being made to clear the roads and restore power in Bermuda. Businesses were beginning to reopen, and airport operations were to resume on Sunday. Canada's two largest railroads are starting to shut down their shipping networks as a labor dispute with the Teamsters Union threatens to cause lockouts or strikes that would disrupt cross-border trade with the United States. Both the Canadian Pacific, Kansas City, and Canadian National Railroads, which haul millions of tons of freight across the border, have stopped taking certain shipments of hazardous materials and refrigerated products. Both are threatening to lock out Teamsters Canada, working starting Thursday if deals are not reached. On Tuesday, CPKC will stop all shipments that start in Canada and all shipments originating in the U.S. that are headed for Canada. Analysts expect the work stoppages to last only a few days, but if they do go longer, there could be significant supply chain disruptions. At the box office, Alien Romulus, the latest installment of the 45-year-old franchise, opened in first place. The 20th Century Studios release earned an estimated $41.5 million in its first weekend, where it was playing in 3,885 locations across the U.S. and Canada. Set around the time of Alien and Aliens, the movie leads into horror with director Fede Alvarez.
This is really where you want to spend the rest of your life.
You know I don't.
And there's an army to take it out of there. Who's hunting us?
Open the door, come on.
Including $66 million from international showings in 49 markets, Alien Romulus boasted a $108.2 million global debut. The Walt Disney Company, which owns 20th Century Studios, played the top two spots, with Marvel's Deadpool and Wolverine on its fourth weekend, taking second place with $29 million. Coming up on America's First News, the latest from the weekend stump as the Democratic National Convention kicks off today. Plus, your Transportation Minute to get you moving.
Breaking news first, America's First News. We'll be right back.
For veterans concerned about their alcohol or drug use, seeking help can be the first step toward recovery. Dr. Joseph Liberto, National Mental Health Director for Substance Use Disorders with the U.S. Department of Veterans Affairs, has more.
May is Mental Health Month, and VA is committed to letting every veteran know that help is available. Substance use disorder can harm your physical and mental health, but it can be treated. There are thousands of veterans in recovery.
VA's Today I Am campaign highlights real stories from veterans describing how treatment, support, and resources help them improve their mental health and their lives.
VA has programs to treat substance use disorder at facilities throughout the country. We also offer telehealth services. A better, fuller life is possible. Today, you can start on a path toward recovery.
5 seconds, Adam! 5 seconds! And good Monday morning to you. It is August 19th, and it is 14 minutes past the top of the hour, 8:14 a.m. And hey, good morning to you. Colfax, currently 68 degrees where you're at right now, looking for a high today of 85 degrees. All right, let's turn it over now, as we do, to the Fox Business Report.
I'm Lauren Simonetti, and this is the Fox Business Report.
Stocks open modestly higher. Advanced Micro Devices is making another move to step up its artificial intelligence business so it can compete with NVIDIA. AMD will pay nearly $5 billion to buy New Jersey-based ZT Systems.
We've got an accident shoulder block that's I-80 westbound at Elkhorn Boulevard, Greenback Lane, and Madison Avenue. It's backed up to Auburn Boulevard, Riverside Avenue. So if you're heading down towards Sacramento today, down I-80, 80 westbound over to 5 looking good. 5 northbound up to the airport looking pretty good, slowing it down around Airport Boulevard. I-5 southbound coming into Sacramento, slow all the way down from Del Paso into Sacramento. Further up the hill, I-80, looks like we've got slowdowns at Canyon Way.
As we wonder why school shootings keep happening, someone is lashing out at loved ones. as we argue about legislation, someone is posting threats on social media. As we continue to mourn the loss of innocent lives, someone is planning the death of more. Knowing the signs is the best way to prevent gun violence. Learn the signs at sandyhookpromise.org.
It's time to live better at CAC Fit at 2514 Bell Road in the Crossroads Shopping Center. Whether your fitness goals are to lose weight, gain weight, functional training, or recovery, they've got you covered with customized training programs.
West between CA20 and Nyack Road.
Open 7 days a week with 24/7 access. Stop by CAC Fit at 2514 Bell Road in the Crossroads Shopping Center. Call 530-885-1964 or online at cacfit.com.
16 minutes past the top of the hour, 8:16 a.m. Taking a look outside at our roadways right now. Well, hey, traveling up I-80 up towards Truckee. It looks like we've got I-80 is closed right now due to a vehicle fire. That looks like that is 80 eastbound between Nyack Road and Highway or CA20 there. And it looks like it's closed both eastbound and westbound there. So if you're heading up I-80 right now or coming through back down the hill, it looks like we've got 80 closed now due to a vehicle fire. That's 80 westbound and eastbound between California 20 and Nyack right there. So heads up if you're traveling up in that area right there. Also construction work happening on 80, and it's even slowing down near Canyon Way if you're heading up eastbound on 80. Coming down closer to home here, going through Auburn, looking clear right now. It looks like we have an accident shoulder block. That's I-80 westbound between Elkhorn Boulevard and Greenback Lane in Madison. It's backing up all the way up to Riverside there if you're going 80 westbound into Sacramento. I-5 northbound and southbound slowing now. Southbound slowing if you're coming into Sacramento. 80 westbound over to I-5 though if you're heading to the airport, looking clear there. Just give yourself a little bit of extra time if you're headed out anywhere today. 50 eastbound and westbound looking pretty good right now until you hit Sacramento at about Watt Avenue there. 50 starts to slow down right there. And looking pretty good if you're going up 50 towards South Lake Tahoe right now. 49 going across the canyon right now from Auburn to Placerville or Placerville the other way. No traffic restrictions reported. Back with more right after this.
Listeners, producer Adam here to remind you to listen to Chris in the morning along with Matt Ray in America's
First News.
Get all the
local news, weather, traffic, and local news you can handle, plus a healthy dose of daily dad jokes in the morning. What's coming up next? Sports Ball.
and AM
950 KI, the voice of the foothills. I never miss it, and neither should you. My goodness, it's early.
Hi, this is Mike Nichols. What are you doing Sunday?
Oh, what are you doing Sunday, baby?
Well, you can pay high stock time. It's Sunday morning at 8. If you have something to sell, or if you're looking for something, maybe you have a yard sale, or perhaps you have a freebie. You can give me a call and we can chat about it live on the air.
No, now, if it's a nice day now, what are you doing Sunday, baby? 18 minutes past the top of the hour, 8:18 a.m. Coming up in our next segment, Sports Ball. Giants versus the A's over the weekend, or A's versus the Giants, depend on how you look at it. Went all the way to extra innings. Did you hear how it ended? Well, we'll tell you all about that here in just a little bit. And Hillman, Placer Hillman football back on K-High starting this Friday. Holy smokes. Is it that time already? It is. I'll let you know who they're playing. Back to America's First News, and I'll see you back here in just a little bit. Okay. That felt good. That was a good one. All right. Let's get the clip pulled up here.
Deep right center.
There we go.
in November.
Off to edit the news!
The day of the convention, and while their agendas vary, many activists agree an immediate ceasefire in the Israel-Hamas war is the priority. Things kicked off Sunday on the convention's eve with a march along Michigan Avenue against the war in Gaza and for abortion and LGBTQ+ rights. After years of polling showing that Americans are worried about inflation, Harris is aiming to contain prices where they've often been most felt, at the grocery store. She's promising to during her first 1 days in office, Senate and Congress proposed federal limits on price increases for food producers and grocers. Harris also is seeking new authority for the Federal Trade Commission and attorneys general in states across the country to enact steeper punishment for violators. She also wants to use government regulators to crack down on mergers and acquisitions among large food industry businesses that the vice president argues have contributed to higher prices. The Washington Post called it a gimmick. Michigan Democratic Governor Gretchen Whitmer defended the plan on NBC's Meet the Press.
Well, I think people are reading too much into what has been put out there. We know that Kamala Harris is going to be focused on building up more affordable housing. We know that Kamala Harris has already delivered on making sure that healthcare is more accessible and affordable for Americans and will protect Obamacare. That's 1 million people who have healthcare in Michigan right now that Donald Trump's been trying to rip away. That only adds costs onto people's backs. And so that's why I think this opportunity economy that Vice President Harris is talking about and laying the broad strokes for, I think shows we really do. She sees every American. She understands what people are struggling with and wants to help you keep more money in your pocket. The biggest part of our personal budgets go toward housing, go toward health care, go toward the fundamentals. And she's got a plan on all those fronts to help more Americans be able to get a path to prosperity.
Well, Governor, I hear you saying that folks are reading too much into it, and yet it is what the vice president is proposing. You have former President Trump calling the policies communist. The Washington Post editorial board called it a gimmick. Is this plan to ban price gouging anything more than a gimmick, Governor?
I think it speaks to Kamala Harris's values that she wants consumers to keep more money in their pockets. She wants hardworking Americans to be able to get ahead. She wants to make sure that there is corporate responsibility. We know we've got to have business growth in this country, small business growth, big business growth for good paying jobs. But we also know that you can't gouge and hurt the American consumer just to pad your bottom line. And I think there's a balance there, and I think that's what this is all about.
Harris rolled out her economic platform on Friday, ramping up attacks against corporations for driving up grocery store prices in a sharp departure from Bidenomics, which has often hesitated to pin the blame on big business for inflation. Former President Donald Trump Saturday again sought to deliver a campaign message focused on the economy, but the Republican repeatedly swerved into non sequiturs and personal attacks, including twice declaring he was better looking than Kamala Harris. Trump can't seem to stay on topic as his Republican allies warn him personal attacks will get him nowhere. GOP Senator Lindsey Graham told NBC Trump can't win with the personal attacks.
I would make it about policy. A nightmare for Harris is to defend her policy choices. Every day we're not talking about her policy choices as vice president, and what she would do as president is a good day for her and a bad day for us. My view is that me and Nikki need to go to Georgia. We're giving advice on TV to President Trump. He's got a lot of critics. He's got a lot of advisors. But to Nikki Haley and DeSantis and Youngkin and all these great people we have, let's get together and actually campaign for the guy rather than just give advice. But in the advice-giving column, here's what I would say. President Trump can win this election. His policies are good for America. And if you have a policy debate for president, he wins. Donald Trump, the provocateur, the showman, may not win this election.
Trump, while stumping in Pennsylvania, confused the state with North Carolina and went on a tangent about Harris's cover of Time magazine.
I mean, I read a so-called Republican who Ronald Reagan didn't like, by the way, and she didn't like him, but she got credit for being this Reagan speechwriter. Highly overrated. I don't know anything about her. I don't know her. Treats me badly, but that's okay. She called it wrong. She's called it wrong now for about 8 years. But she said one thing that got me. She said Kamala has one big advantage. She's a very beautiful woman. She's a beautiful woman. So I decided to go back and reread the clause. I'm not saying reason, but I say that I am much better looking than her. I think I'm much better. I'm a better looking person than Kamala.
Trump tried to hammer Harris on the economy, associating her with the Biden administration's inflation woes and likening her latest proposal against price gouging to measures in communist nations, but then veered off topic. His Saturday rally was his fifth at the arena in Wilkes-Barre, the largest city in Luzerne County, where he's had victories in the past 2 elections. California Governor Gavin Newsom signed a bipartisan package of bills that aims to crack down on smash and grab robberies and property crimes, making it easier to go after repeat shoplifters and auto thieves and increase penalties for those running professional reselling schemes. The move comes as Democratic leadership works to prove that they're tough on crime while trying to convince voters to reject a ballot measure that would bring even harsher sentences for repeat offenders of shoplifting and drug charges.
So I'll be signing 10 bills today on retail theft, property theft, and auto theft. These bills will strengthen existing laws, they'll enhance other laws, and they will address the challenges that are well outside the purview of previous initiatives and laws like Prop 47, and that's the issue of organized retail theft, the issue of serial theft, the issue that is front and center in the consciousness of so many Californians. You see it online, social media, you see it on the nightly news. This goes to the heart of the issue, and it does it in a thoughtful and judicious way. This is the real deal. Grocers and the retailers understand that.
The legislation includes the most significant changes to address retail theft in years, allowing law enforcement to combine the value of goods stolen from different victims to impose harsher penalties and arrest individuals for shoplifting using video footage or witness statements. Democrats spent months earlier trying to unsuccessfully keep a tougher on crime initiative off the November ballot, Proposition 36, which would make it a felony for repeat shoplifters and some drug charges. Democrats worry the measure would disproportionately criminalize low-income people and those with substance abuse issues rather than target ringleaders. Still a lot more to come on this Monday morning. To get you moving right now, your Transportation Minute.
This is your Transportation Channel Minute presented by New Spark Media. Exciting news from the world of aviation. Electric passenger planes could become a reality sooner than expected. A new design by Elysian, an aviation startup, can carry 90 passengers up to 500 miles. A significant improvement from the current range of electric planes, which is limited to 20 passengers and 200 miles. Electric planes have the potential to significantly reduce pollution from shorter flights, although they won't completely solve all airplane emissions. Elysian went back to the drawing board and drew inspiration from first-generation long-range aircraft. The resulting plane features a large, highly effective wing that can fold to fit airport gates. Of course, there are challenges as the batteries are still heavy and these planes won't be able to replace all flights. However, they represent a significant advancement in the pursuit of cleaner air travel. The Transportation Channel is powered by newspark.io. Go to newspark.io to learn more about what we can do for you. The Transportation Channel Minute. I'm John Acello.
America's First News will be right back.
Did you know that healthy arteries make a gas? Yes, actually 3 known gases. Hi, I'm Dr. Mitch, and nitric oxide is a gas that's readily made all day long to keep our arteries open, relaxing the blood vessel wall. By doing this, circulation is increased.
All right.
Free blood, oxygen, and
Placerville.
to every part of your body. Both age and poor diet can lead to a loss of this
69 degrees right now, looking for a high of 86 degrees.
Energy should go down and get tingling in your
Jeez.
hands and feet. Well, our product, Ultimate Nitric
Well,
Oxide,
our
can
product.
easily help fix this lack of nitric oxide. Go to Total Wellness. TotalWellness.com, where we're helping you to live good and enjoy Total Wellness.
1 minute, Adam. 1 minute.
USA Armed Forces stand ready to protect
Oh, boy.
their family and our
Woo.
national way of life. When veterans return to civilian life, they deserve your recognition and support. You can help their
I guess
vets
Keith
work
didn't come
by
in today.
donating your car,
Oh, well.
or van to Patriotic
Next time.
Hearts. Your donation will directly support programs to help vets find jobs or even start their own business. Donate today for fast, free pickup of your vehicle, running or not.
30 seconds,
Operators are
Adam.
standing by to answer questions about making a tax-deductible vehicle donation. Find out how you can make a difference in the life of the United States veteran. Call 800-209-4580 for 24-hour response. Call 800-209-4580.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6. When did the A's play? Today. Tampa Bay Rays. Okay, here we go. And good Monday morning to you. It is August 19th, and it is 30 minutes past the top of the hour, 8:30 a.m. And hey, good morning to you, Placerville. Currently 69 degrees where you're at right now, looking for a high today of 86 degrees. All right, there's the sports ball music. Let's get right into it. We're going to start in the MLB. Over the weekend, Giants versus the A's. Yesterday, they wrapped up their 2-game series. They had it tied all the way till the 10th inning out at the Coliseum, 1 apiece, 1-1. And here's how the game shook out. Let's hear the call, the play-by-play. Back-to-back home runs from the Giants seal that win there. Giants win yesterday 4-2 over the A's. A's are hosting at home now starting today. The Tampa Bay Rays, we've got a radio start time today of 6 o'clock tonight. First pitch is at 6:40 p.m. Again, A's back on K-High tonight. Play the Tampa Bay Rays. Radio start time 6 o'clock. First pitch at 6:40 p.m. Looking around the majors yesterday, Angels versus the Braves. Braves take that one 3-1. Padres versus the Rockies. Rockies climb that mountain, take that one 3-2. Dodgers versus the Cardinals. Dodgers win that 2-1. Let's see. Royals versus the Red Sox. Royals not the Reds. Royals versus the Cincinnati Reds. Royals take that one 8-1. D-backs versus the Tampa Bay Rays. Rays win that one 8-7. Looking forward to this Friday, gang. High school football is back. The Hillmen are back on K-High starting this Friday versus Casa Roble. They're going to be at home at Placer High School. So high school, can you believe it that high school football is back? That's right. I guess it's August already. So we've got our preseason starting. Placer versus Casa Roble this Friday night, starting around 7-ish. We'll see when the JV game finishes up there versus Casa Roble. Back with your K-High weather right after this.
To the Garden Goddesses, Saturday mornings at 8, right here on the Voice of the Foothills. And this is Cindy from the Garden Goddesses. Thanks for being a loyal listener, and please join us every Saturday morning from 8 to 9 on
Inch by inch, row by row, gonna make this garden grow. All you need is a rake and a hoe and a piece. All right, Timmy, you're up.
Every Saturday morning from 8 to 9, right here on
The Voice of the Foothills.
Monday weather forecast, high pressure building in. It'll be warm in the mid-80s, mostly sunny skies today. Southwest to west wind, 6 to 12 miles per hour. Mostly clear, light winds tonight in the low 60s. It'll be very close to 90 Tuesday, mostly sunny skies. 85 to 90 Wednesday. Dry, sunny weather will continue. Looks like the sunny skies will continue for Thursday as well. This is meteorologist Tim
From FM 104.5 and AM 950. K-High. 33 minutes past the top of the hour, 8:33 a.m. Gang, just like that. Man, just seems like a blink of an eye. That's going to do it for me today. We'll finish out this hour with America's First News and the O'Reilly Report. Glad to be back. Sorry I was out last week. I forgot to tell everybody, and I forgot to tell basically the day before that I was out on jury duty. Back at it, though. Glad to be back here with you. I will see you bright and early tomorrow. Hopefully, I said that last time, and then I was gone for a week. But we'll be back tomorrow. Bright and early, and until then, be kind, be honest, be yourself, and remember, you can't hate somebody if you're hugging them. Have a great week. Back now to America's First News. Have a great week. Have a great day. Yeah, whatever. All right. That did go by quick. Maybe I've been gone for a while.
Antonio Spagortis and Rose Marie Cosmetatos financially liable for the shooting at Santa Fe High School. They're pursuing at least $1 million in damages. Victim's attorneys said parents failed to provide necessary support for the son's mental health and didn't do enough to prevent him from accessing their guns. An attorney for the parents said their son's mental break wasn't foreseeable and that he hid his plans for the shooting. His trial for killing 8 students and 2 teachers has been on hold since November of 2019, when he was declared incompetent to stand trial.
All right. Let me just collect all of our gear.
Zelensky said Sunday,
Put that there. Close out all of my
further attacks by
things that I have open here in
Zelensky clearly stated the aim of the operation,
delete.
which was launched on August 6th. He also urged
Delete. We'll keep that one. I need to send Angie her interview. Good reminder. Delete that. There we go. And board's back on auto. Take my little whiteboard here. And just turn this off. Thanks, everybody. See you tomorrow. Bye.